This video is about the multiplication strategy called factoring and grouping flexibly. Let's take a look at what the strategy looks like using a problem. So when using the factoring and grouping flexibly strategy, what we're wanting students to do is look at the two factors and think about if one of the factors can be decomposed into two friendlier factors. So in this case, if we're looking at 75 times 28, we might, instead of thinking about 75 times 28, think about what two factors that might be a little bit friendlier to use to multiply 75 by. So we could think about 28 as 4 times 7. Then what we are doing is we are regrouping these, because that's why it's called factoring and grouping flexibly. So I can group these now and know that I could do 75 times 4 first. Then I can multiply whatever that is by 7. So 75 times 4 is a lot easier to multiply than 75 times 28, because 75, I know if I just double 75, that's 150, and I can double again, and that's 300. So now I'm just multiplying 300 times 7, and I know that that's 2,100. So 75 times 28 is 2,100. So let's try this again with a different problem. With a problem that you might think is actually very familiar. It might be like, well, why are you doing this problem? I'm doing this problem to help you see why what we typically do works. It works based on this strategy of factoring and grouping flexibly. What do we typically do? What do we typically do when you do 6 times 400? A lot of people tell me that they're doing 6 times 4, right? And they know that that's 24, and so then it's 2,400. But why does that work? Well, that works because what you're doing is you're really thinking about 400 as 4 times 100. Then you're regrouping that and knowing that 6 times 4 is 24, and multiplying that by 100, and that's where you come with 2,400 for 6 times 400. It's very important that we understand why things work, and this is one of those strategies that I can look at lots of different numbers and just factor them into something that might be a little bit more friendlier to regroup first and then multiply the rest. This is called factoring and grouping flexibly.